We're rolling.
Well, one of the reasons why defeating the tar sand pipeline was so important is because what's happening in Alberta, Canada, is is an atrocity. They're desecrating the land. The Native Americans there aren't really happy with that project, and this open mining of this oil substance, this tar sand, is really destroying the land and the habitat of many animals. Uh, but away from that, the pipeline itself was going to bring tons and tons of this tar sand across the United States from the north all the way down to the south to the Gulf of Mexico, to Port Arthur, Texas, and to Houston, Texas, and to Beaumont, Texas, where they were going to implement this process of processing this crude oil into usable crude oil and gasoline, and move on to the chemical side of it and make plastics and what have you. But tar sands has a heavy metal content to it, which gets into the environment, which contaminates the soil, contaminates the water. It also has a heavy sulfur content to it, which when you process the tar sands, it's emitted. The sulfur is emitted into the air, and then it rains down on the communities where it's being processed. And this isn't fair to communities like Port Arthur, Texas, Beaumont, Texas, and Houston, Texas, because at the present time we are being disproportionately bombarded with refineries and chemical plants cooking crude oil. Enough is enough already. Also, that pipeline was going to come all the way from the north of the United States down to the south, but it was also going to cross through an aquifer which provided water, fresh water, to at least 8 states. And as we know, in many farm regions, people are desperate for fresh water. It was a potential for this pipeline to contaminate our underground water as well. So the plan to bring in the tar sand pipeline, we think, was a bad plan. It was not a good idea to bring it to a community that was disproportionately burdened with toxics from petroleum. And enough is enough in those communities. So we looked at stopping this pipeline for a year and a half, while they come up with a new strategy, was great. Even though they may start it back up again, but we're hopeful that they find another way to get the product that they need to keep our oil demand, I guess, met for those who are still pushing for oil. But we're hoping that we come up with renewable energy technologies that can continue to keep our nation moving in a strong direction and keep us the great nation that we are. I think we have the wherewithal to come up with new technologies that can give us the energy that we need to keep our country strong without having to use dirty fuels.